Spurs are not ready. Arsenal are coming for war. That's right, I said it. Spurs are not ready. Arsenal are coming for war. In today's show, we're going to be going through the head-to-head, the lineup, the possible lineup, the players that are available to Mikel Arteta. Who has scored the most goals? Who is the top goal scorers in all this between the two teams? Who has the best defense record? Who has the best squad overall to win this game? And the title I went for, Spurs are not ready, Arsenal are coming for war. Is that going to be the truth after the end of it? Make sure you watch the whole show. Like, subscribe, turn that notification on so you don't miss a show every time we upload. Let's get into it. So, Spurs are not ready, Arsenal coming for war. I may have overshot that title just a little bit, but you have to. You have to believe it. You have to believe that when these two teams play each other, it's a rivalry unmatched. It's bigger than the Manchester derby. It's bigger than Liverpool versus United. It's bigger than Chelsea versus Spurs. It's bigger than anything. It's bigger than that old firm, Celtic and Rangers. It's bigger than Barcelona and Real Madrid. Yeah, I went there. Bigger than Dortmund and Bayern Munich. You see where I'm going with this? You see where I'm going with this? This is a big, big game. Arteta versus Frank. It's not Arteta versus Postecoglou. Arteta versus Thomas Frank. This game is going to have it all. It's going to have up to 19 players missing from both teams. That's a lot of players. But Arsenal are heavily hit. Spurs are heavily hit. But there's no excuses for both managers. I don't want to see Mikel Arteta standing there with his arms out going, oh my God, what the hell? I thought I got it right, but yeah, I got it wrong. I want to see armpits raised with Nicolas Jova in the background of him going, yes, he scored another goal. And I don't care if it's from a set piece. In the last few games, let's go into this one, the head-to-head. The last 5 games, right? Arsenal have been victorious very, very well. They have won 1, 2, 3, 4 of those games. Going back to, January 15, 2023, they won 2-0 away from home. Then in return fixture, they draw 2-2. 2024, they won 3-2 at the New White Hart Lane, and then in 24 again, they won 1-0 away from home, 2-1 at home last season. The last 5 games as a whole, Arsenal have been great, winning 4, drawing 1. Spurs have been woeful, winning 2, losing 2, and drawing 1. When the Spurs fans are keep on saying that Spurs have a better away record than their home record, that may be true, but that's not going to help Spurs in this game. Because Spurs are not ready, Arsenal are coming for war. And then when you look at the Premier League in itself, it tells a bigger story. Arsenal are first, Spurs are 5th. And again, when you look at the points, then that's where it gets a bit sketchy. Spurs can't overtake Arsenal should Spurs win. Should Spurs beat Arsenal, they can't overtake. Arsenal lie first with 26 points and the Spurs lie 5th with 18 points. When you look at the goal difference, again, this is where it comes to home. Spurs are on 9 and Arsenal on 15. Goal 4, Arsenal have scored 20, Spurs have scored 19. Spurs have conceded 10, Arsenal have only conceded 5 in 11 games. Arsenal have won 8 of those 11 games, Spurs have won 5. Arsenal on 8-2-1 team, Spurs are a 5-3-3 team. 5 wins, 3 draws, 3 defeats. Arsenal, on the other hand, are just much better. They're more consistent. They offer more for their fans. They offer more for the club as a whole than what Spurs does. But this game is not won on the last 5 games that they played. No, this game is won on the pitch on the day. It's won with heart. It's won with passion. It's won just by having the best team out there on the day. And that, at the moment, you can turn around and say, it's going to be Arsenal. But Arsenal have some noteworthy players missing. But before we get onto those noteworthy players that's missing, let's talk about who's going to be marshalling the game. Michael Oliver. Yes, that's right. Arsenal fans love Michael Oliver to no end. The guy who loves showing a red card to Arsenal players left, right, and centre. That's right. He's one that's going to be taking care of this game. And I'm hoping he has a good, solid game. I'm hoping he's not thinking, okay, it's too cold. I want to hurry this game up. Let's just book some players because my hands are cold and I need them to have some action, so I need to be moving them. So if I can do that with some cards, hey, do it, but not to the Arsenal players. Do it to the Spurs players, and all will be forgiven big time. But when it comes to the two teams, when it comes to goal scoring, this is the part where I get scared of with Arsenal. In the Premier League this season alone, with goals scored, when you look at it right here, you're seeing Erling Haaland with 14 goals. If Haaland has scored 14 goals, right, and then when you go back to the table and then you look at Man City, and then they've only scored 23, a big portion of that is Erling Haaland. And then when you look at the others, where's Arsenal players? Where's Spurs players? 11 games gone, and both teams do not even have a player that has over 5 goals. That is concerning. More concerning for me, it's more concerning for Arsenal fans, it's more concerning for you. Because you've got to start thinking now, okay, if we don't have many goal scorers, okay, the goals have been spread around the team, okay. Who's then creating it? No one. On the Spurs side, Kudus is creating it, but is Kudus going to be playing? Is he going to be playing in this game? I don't know. But because with 19 players combined with the two teams, we know already that Gabriel's out. Jurien Timber could be out. Ricardo Calafiore could be out of this game. With the forward line, then you've got the Kai Havertz, you've got the Victor Gyökeres, you've got Gabriel Martinelli, Noni Madueke, and Gabriel Jesus are all sidelined. Martin Odegaard is still continuing his recovery. With Spurs, on the other hand, they got James Maddison out, Dejan Kulusevski, then they got Dragosin, and then Solanke all ruled out. And then Randall Colomwani continues to struggle with Bergvall, Ben Davies, Benzema, and Kotataki, all doubts for this game. Massive, massive. Load of players out. A load of problems for Arsenal and Spurs for goal scoring. Arsenal are out of luck. And again, when we look at the teams now and what players are available, before we get on to the lineup, when it comes to the defenders, you're going to have William Saliba, Mosquera, Ben White, Hencapié, and Lewis Skelly available. You're going to have Timber, it's going to be out, I think. Calafiore is going to be out. Gabriel Magalhaes is going to be out. When it comes to the midfield, Martin Odegaard, question mark over that. But everyone else is available. Eze, Norgard, Nwaneri, Moreno, Zubimendi, Rice, and Max Dowman, all available for selection. When it comes to the forward line, this is the part where I start getting worried. This is the part where I made you guys aware already that Arsenal don't have a player yet that scored over 4 Premier League goals. That's concerning. And what Arsenal have available? Out of Saka, Jesus, Martinelli, Gyökeres, Trossard, Madueke, Kai Havertz, Sorge, and of course, Harmon Anois. We've only got Saka, Trossard, Segor, and Harmon Anois available. Question marks over Madueke and Martinelli. That's questionable. Kai Havertz, Victor Gyökeres, and Gabriel Jesus are not available. This is worrying. It's so worrying. Arsenal have a big squad, but that's what you got to deal with. That is what our Mikel Arteta and Arsenal have to deal with on Sunday, 4:30 at the Emirates. Do they have enough to put a team together that's going to challenge this Tottenham team? That's my worry right there. And again, when you look at the so far this season, when you look at who's doing better, of course you're going to say it's Arsenal because they're first in the Premier League. They've won 8 versus Tottenham's 5. They've drawn 2 versus Tottenham's 3. They've only lost 1 versus Tottenham 3. Arsenal scored more goals, 20 versus Tottenham 19. The goals conceded, Arsenal, of course, are better than Spurs. I've pointed that part out already. All of that points to an Arsenal win. All of that tells you that Arsenal should win. But then again, all of that's told us that Arsenal should have beaten Sunderland last weekend, and they didn't. They got a draw at the last minute. And again, when we're talking about players who need to step up and step out, my one worry after all these players, when I'm thinking of, okay, what players need to step up? Eze needs to turn up for this game. Mikel Moreno needs to turn up for this game. Trossard needs to turn up for this game. Miles Lewis-Skelly needs to turn up for this game. But the one player I am worried about more than any other player out there on the pitch is David Raya. Why? Because sometimes he gets a bit too excited. Sometimes he feels, you know what, I ain't had nothing to do. I need to get involved. And that is what happened when Brobby scored that last-minute goal against Arsenal. Gabriel doing what Gabriel does. Of course, he's injured. I'm going to be missing him. But sometimes he goes to the floor a bit too easily, trying to win a free kick and hoping that VAR will come and save his backside. If David Raya stayed on the line with this equaliser, Arsenal would have had all 3 points. But he came out, he didn't even come committed. He came out with a twisted body, and that ball went in the back of the net, and that still pees me off right until now. Okay? It's still getting to me. But what's not going to get to me is the lineup. Let's talk about the lineup. David Raya is going to be in goal. We're going to see the return of Ben White 100%. He's not fully fit. He doesn't have much powers in his legs left. And when I say much powers, he haven't really and truly played. He's had no real minutes this season. So this is going to be a big test for him. And miraculously, if during Timber play starts, okay, cool. But I'm seeing Ben White. Then I'm going to see Christian Mosquera partnering William Saliba. Miles Lewis-Skelly, for me, is going to be the one that has to come in. Hank Capier, no. It's got to be Miles Lewis-Skelly. This kid is a walking yellow card, potentially a red. Sometimes he's clumsy. And sometimes he is just magical on the pitch. Then you go into the midfield, a 4-2-3-1 formation. Martin Zubimendi and a Declan Rice. I can see that happening. Saka, Eza, and also Trossard with Mikel Merino up front. Now, I know people will be saying, are we still here? I can't believe it. We brought in another striker. We had another striker, and we're still with Merino up front for Arsenal, going into one of the pivotal games of the season, Arsenal versus Spurs. Yeah, that is where we're at. That is where we're at. But it doesn't mean Arsenal can't come out and be victorious in this game against Spurs. I'm predicting a 3-1 victory for Arsenal. I'm saying it right here, right now. You never really get a prediction out of me, but now you've got one. A 3-1 victory, I think it's going to be for Arsenal. What do you think is this going to be? What's your thoughts and so forth for everything I've given? Are you happy with the lineup? Are you happy with the selection? Are you happy that the fact that we're down to bare bones and more injuries? I'm telling you right here, right now, Arsenal season collapses. So it's all or nothing. It's all or nothing for me. Arsenal, Spurs are not ready. Arsenal are coming for war. And it has to be 3 points to extend the lead at the Premier League. Top of the table. Grab all 3 points. Then we got Chelsea. And then, hey, it could be armpit season for Arsenal. Anyway, I'm Ty Knight here for TK24 Sports. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, turn that notification on so you don't miss a show every time we upload. See you after the game. Let's go.